Okay, we're here talking today about RaiderZ, which is the upcoming monster hunting MMO game from Maya Entertainment of Korea, published in Europe by Gameforge. And we're going to show you a short trailer right now, which is the Gamescom trailer, which is a really exciting look into the world of a monster hunter.
About time. Too long now I've been on this hunt. Endless shifting deserts. The dark heart of the woods. Always driven, never enough. Seeking the challenge. I bled. I suffered. But they never broke me. They tried. They died. But now, my hunt, has it come to an end?
Okay, so there you go. That's RaiderZ. I'll explain a bit of the thinking behind the game. Basically, the story is that in the world of Rendell, there's been a sudden and unexplained plague of monsters and the dead rising and coming back to life. And in this kind of Renaissance fantasy world, the players they take on the role of adventurers who've been tasked by the king to go and investigate the source of this plague and wipe out all the monsters that are attacking the towns and cities around there. And so what we want to do with this game is we want to offer players the chance to experience a really deep fantasy world that's got some unique features. One of the first things we want to show players is that you'll be able to create the kind of character that you want to play as. So we're showing off the character customization screen here. So we've got really great appearance customization. We've got facial features, skin tones, makeup. Where's here? Lovely. Hairstyles there in a range of colours. Sure. And what we really like is the tattoo system. You'll be able to customize your character's look as much as you could wish for, which is fantastic. And the character clothing as well, which is great. Okay, now an important thing to point out here is we're using what we call fighting styles. Now, in your regular MMO, you'll choose a class and that'll define how you play the game all the way through. You're either a kind of ranged attacker, or you're a tank class, or you're a healer. Why we call these fighting styles is that basically you choose your class at the beginning, your style at the beginning, and you'll either be a kind of sword and board tank class, or you'll be a two-handed full-on attacker who's all about getting up close and punishing. You can be a cleric, healing style, or a kind of sorcerer, magic blasting. But you're not limited to just those kind of skills. So in RaiderZ, for the first 10 levels, you can choose to put your skill points into any skill from that class. So we'll just jump in to another character and show you how that works. So you see here, this is the starting area, Broken Mast, where all the level 1 characters will spawn. There we go. There's the quest system. And Milos, do you want to show the skill system? Okay, you can see now the sorcerer skill system. So it's all based on kind of elemental magic, area of effect spells, direct damage, and damage over time. Now, when you get to level 10, you'll achieve what we call skill mastery. So from that point on, you can either choose to keep specializing as a sorcerer, or you can choose to put skill points into any other class that you want. So you can see here you'll have the range of cleric skills, so you could create a sorcerer healer, or you could create a berserker who also fights with the power of magic as well. So you can choose, if you wish, to put points into every style, in which case you'll be a huge all-round fighter able to switch in the heat of battle. You can see here you have 2 open weapon slots. All characters will have those. You can change weapons with the touch of a button, and you can see, and you can see that your skills are dependent on your weapons. So if you're using the staff, you'll be using magical attacks, and if you're using the sword and shield, you'll have the full range of kind of tanking, crowd control, damage-taking abilities as well. Okay. So what we're going to show you now is another really important part of the game, which is the crafting system. So Milos is just going to take us into the first town area, which is Broken Mast. You can see here the look of the game. It's a really, really detailed fantasy world. I really find it a very beautiful game. Okay. And here we can see the blacksmith, who's the main weapon creator in the game. So if we go up and interact with the blacksmith, what's interesting to note is that in most RPG and MMO games, what's always seemed weird to me is that, say you go kill a creature, it'll drop a full set of armor, it'll drop a sword. You know, how do these creatures get swords? Do they swallow them? Are you cutting them out of them? How does that work? So that just doesn't happen in RaiderZ. All weapons and all armor in the game will be craftable, and that's the only way you can get hold of them. So when you kill an enemy, say you kill a wolf, what you'll get from that wolf is you'll get some meat, maybe some fur, some claws, and you can use those to create all of the weapons in the game. So you can see here all of the recipes. We have a really cool system where if you click Receive Recipe, it'll keep a log of that in your quest log. You can see what elements you need to create that weapon, and so when you finally get that last piece to create that epic weapon you want, you can just head straight back. There it is. And if you check that magnifying glass icon, you can see where all the creatures that drop that kind of item. So you know always where to go and what kind of things to kill. Maybe if not, how tough they are. And the armor crafting will also work exactly the same. So you can create exactly the kind of character that you want to play as, which is really important.
Really rare
Yep.
recipes to find, or do you have to fight to get to an NPC that's going to craft something for you? Or
Well, at the moment, the NPCs are located in main quest hubs and towns, but the ingredients that you need, some of the ingredients are from really, really tough bosses. We'll show you some of them later on, but suffice it to say for now that getting hold of them won't be very easy. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to jump out to a slightly higher level character, slightly further on in the game, and explain some of the things that players will come to when they reach this level. So Milos here is jumping into a level 25 character, and what we're really excited to show you just now is a couple of other features of the game. So what's the first thing you want to do when you group up with a team of other explorers and you want to celebrate the fact you're going out on a monster hunt? Well, of course, you want to get together, you want to eat some food, and you want to play some music, and that's what we're going to show you. So, we have a range of musical instruments in the game. You can see here the guitar. We're going to be adding more as development goes on. And the guitar has a range of notes available to it, which will provide buffs to the other members of your group. So, and if you have a lot of members playing together, you can create some really great harmonies. And some pretty rocky tunes as well. Yeah. So that's great. We also have a feasting system whereby you can use your ingredients that you've harvested from monsters to create some great food and share it with your friends, and that way you can buff the party as well. Yeah, that's fantastic. Another great system. Oh, we should talk about mounts first, actually. We will have mounts in the game. It's a big part of any MMO game. We'll have some really interesting mounts. You can see here the Moa, which is one of the early level mounts you can get. I love this guy. He just looks excellent. And he's a really fast little mount. Okay. And what's interesting to note about the mounts is that they will change and grow over time just as your character changes and grows. So the early level mounts will just be a way to get from A to B. The later level mounts will add new abilities, so they'll be able to dash quicker or jump further. And eventually they'll be able to damage enemies as well, so you can use them in combat, which we're really excited about. It adds a kind of mounted combat element to the game. Also, here's something new we can show you. We can show you something we call the transformation system. Now, as you explore the world, you'll come across some really, really great creatures, and we thought it would be cool if you could transform into some of them sometimes. So you can see here, Milos has used one of the crafted crystals to turn into a cute little bunny rabbit. And what's really great is you gain access to the character's skills as well. Which, in the case of the bunny rabbit, is obviously having a little dance. But what's great is you can also transform into some of the really cool bosses that we have as well. So if we show you... There we go. Now here's Queen Terrasis. She's a really, really impressive boss from early in the game. Now she's got some pretty amazing attacks, which you can use when you are her as well. And he's creating quite a storm in the city.
Is that real players actually?
This is we're running live on the beta server at the moment, so these are actual players running around reacting to her.
Like they're playing.
Yeah, which is brilliant. Now, you will be leveled to the level that you are at the moment, so you maybe don't have the full power of the boss, but you can use that in combat. You can use those skills to get through hard areas of the game if you can, if it's difficult for you to get through, which is a really, really cool way to play the game, I think. Okay, now if we want to move slightly further on, we're going to show you an area from later in the game called Mount Edda, which is a really great area that we have. Most of the world so far is open world PvE, so it's all about grouping up with a few friends and taking down some really big bosses. This area, Mount Edda, is all about PvP. So what we have here is we have a two-faction battleground, which is going to feature open PvP, so you can take on other people in the team, build up faction rewards, and so on. It also has a set of quest chains that you can take on, so you'll be escorting characters, assassinating characters, and that way you can build up faction points as well. But there is another way to play. RaiderZ is obviously about taking on bosses. So what we like to do is we like to spawn giant bosses and let you take them on as a PvP group at the same time. Okay. Yeah. There's another feature we can show now, which is the server channels. It's sharded essentially, where you can jump from one to the other. So here we see Daigo, who's one of the PvP bosses, who's really cool. He's a giant snow yeti. So if we watch him, yeah, this is something I really like about RaiderZ. It's got really dynamic, reactive bosses who throw you around, slam you into the ground, throw things at you. Yeah, who are just great. And you can see Milos is playing a really level 25 character. He's got great gear, but it's still pretty tough. He's getting taken down pretty easily. So you're going to want a group to take this guy on. We expect most players to play as part of a team. That's something that we're really interested in. But for solo players... yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're playing as a GM character at the moment. He just takes us down. Again, solo playing is very important to a lot of people, and we recognise that. So for solo players, we want them to be able to take on bosses as well. So the combat in the game is really skill based. I mean, instead of having a lock-on system, we have a movable targeting system. We have a dodge and roll system. So you can get out of the way of those attacks. You can block his attacks. If you're a really skilled player, you will be able to take down bosses on your own, and it'll be a big mark of respect if you can do that. So here we have another boss.
There's so many bosses.
Oh yeah.
How many bosses do you have?
I don't actually have a number on that, but we're adding more every day, and it's.
Is it like hundreds or?
There are going to be a few more than a few in the game. Yeah, there's going to be plenty to keep players interested, I think. This is Borgo. He's a goblin boss. You can see that he plays a different way than Daigo. Instead of being fast, he's slow, but he hits really hard, and he flings rocks around and things. Yeah, I like this guy. Yeah. Unfortunately, Milos is dying again, so I think we should probably let him go. Thanks very much.